Hey, everybody. I just finished shuffling these cards as I will continue to shuffle them throughout the reading. My name is Lily Q. I'm from the nineofcups.com, and thank you so much for chiming in today. This reading today, I'm starting off on Monday, May 11th. Welcome. I hope you enjoyed. For those that celebrate a most wonderful Mother's Day, and for those that don't or have a little hang up on it, my apologies. I know it's a hard day for so many, especially perhaps maybe your mother's no longer with you, or even maybe you have a different type of relationship with your mother. Not everyone has hope, wonderful, great relationships with their moms. Okay, so I am pulling cards to see what's going on here. And what I'm noticing is that uh, she is now in a position where, which is nice. By the way, this woman is a girl boss. Okay, she has her own business. She has her. She's also going to get news of an opportunity, maybe a new client. She runs her own business. Okay, for those of you out there, this is someone whose side gig is now going to maybe be able to be put her in a position where she's going to make it full time. Of course, make sure that your income from your side gig, this is just a business suggestion, uh, really has those sales or those numbers that you need in place to actually completely surpass your day job if that's your scenario that you're looking to change. Okay, that's just a art business coach suggestion there. And yeah, so maybe this person or you have been saving. By the way, alarms are going. There's a fire down at a local motel, and so I apologize for those of you that are art sensitive, that are art sensitive, haha, that are sound sensitive. Okay, so there has been sort of holding on to feelings, or holding on to that is yours, and we also have two fours. Fours also, and sort of like the 1111 here, with the Four of Wands card usually signified by the club of the four wands that are holding up the flowers. And that usually represents a wedding, a very balanced relationship. So if you are looking for one, you're going to be one very soon. It also suggests too that there's a strong foundation with which this business person has set up their business. Okay, this is something that's fair and square. There is a King of Pentacles, okay, which is very much the partner to your Queen of Pentacles, coins. So that's earth signs, your Taurus, your Virgo, your Capricorns, but doesn't necessarily have to be earth signs. These could be people who are really solid in their business that just make really good business partners. Now, two cards sort of popped out, and so we also have this. Here it goes like this for you. I'm sorry about the lighting. I'll change that afterwards. See if this light actually maybe help. I don't think so. Okay. Actually, you know what? Give me 1 second. It's cold here where I am. So I have to put a little lap blanket on me because it's cold. Okay. Now back to the reading. Thank you for that. Allow me to take a quick little break and still being here with me. Now, let's see what else is going on. Too many cards, but I do see some new beginnings going on. Spirit, what can you tell us? Thank you. Okay, so definitely partnership. Oh my gosh. Someone may want to come in. Remember, I told you about this new business opportunity? Someone may want to come in. Three wands here. The two of, oh gosh, 432. Angel numbers there. I'll put them over like this. And now you got 5432. So I will mark those angel number descriptions on top, which I know some of you love, just for those little added details. Uh, so Two of Rods, that's a partnership. That's where communication is going really great between the two. It's definitely someone looking to invest in you. And that doesn't necessarily mean, here's 20K, but it can totally mean that. The Three of Wands definitely shows business where there's collaboration with others. So you may very well be receiving this very, very soon, which is wonderful news. Tell us more about this 2 and 3 of Ru well well, apparently, don't get things mixed crossed, but this partnership, and now we have 2 twos, is a 2 of cups is a 2 of cups, people. We all know what the 2 of cups is actually, right? Oh, speaking of, I will link somewhere my latest video on what the 2 of cups meaning is. I also have another one for the 9 of cups. A lot of you were asking for that, so I did that for you. And that's a quick, like, 5-minute, video that sort of explains uh, in this case, the Two of Cups and what it means for love, business, life, and what it means for first, and the combinations thereof, because of course that all matters when you do the readings like I do, because I go all out, with the reverse. Now, it does show that where this sort of came in the reverse, and I'm sort of feeling it's about this Knight of Swords, this sort of someone coming in with some truth, possibly, or sort of their truth. But I also see with the strength card, it's where maybe someone has been very quick to make judgment on you, and they're going to be clearly miss. And I don't think this Knight of Swords knight is the King of Pentacles in any way. In fact, these are two different people, or at least the message of, because this is a different age than this knight. Usually the kings are, sort of depending upon where you are, but they can be anywhere from like 30 and up, whereas your knight tends to be anywhere from 15 to 25 to 30 years old, depending. Okay, it all depends upon the card, but really, age is just a number. Okay, but it also could be a person sort of acting younger than themselves. But the ace of the Knight of Swords, excuse me, is someone who can be very quick to action. So this King of Pentacles could be this too many cards, Spirit. Let's go with 1 or 2 cards, Spirit. Thank you. Okay, we have a Knight of Coins. By the way, a whole bunch of my readings lately full of, I would say, Ace of Coins, full of court cards. So lately, where I don't know where everyone's been, maybe for February and March, where they've all been like sort of sequestered into their own homes. People are going to be out and about in terms of making connections. So, and that sort of makes sort of sense, especially with the new moon in Taurus, I want to say on the 16th, because once we get to the Sagittarius blue moon at the end of May, this is a time literally going up to the 16th. By the 16th, holy moly, whole bunch of new uh, it's sort of like all those feelings of when Pisces, excuse me. I've not had any coffee today, so I'll be stumbling all over my words all throughout this because, frankly, this is not a script. I'm not reading a script. I am just rocking and rolling off the cuff. Uh, for a couple of months now, we've had Pisces in a whole bunch of planets. And so people's emotions, especially those water signs of you out there, and those that are just the opposite of water signs, your earth signs even, but there has been a lot, and your Aries too. There's been a lot of movement in terms of emotions and opening up, or even addressing one's feelings, or even the emotions coming up to the surface and having to deal with them. Now, this new moon, May 16th, Taurus, of course, is going to change where you get grounded, and in the sense that all your emotions are you're going to be able to make sense of them, and you're going to be able to catapult them to where they need to take you, or to uh, whether whatever direction you may choose. But the point is that you're going to be able to make sense of all these emotions that you've been all through the past couple of months, because that has been difficult for a lot of people. Okay, really. I mean, all over the world, not just like, in the state you are in, or the little village you're in, or the big country you live in. Okay. It really has been difficult for so many people. Now, great advice as your fortune changes here, because remember, whatever you were experiencing, this is going to be a complete, total, you know, destiny change here. And the best part is that the Temperance is a card where you are finally starting to realize that, yeah, I can't run at this level all the time. I got to take downtime. I have to take time for the taking care of my family. You take care of, let's say, maybe you have pets. Then I have to take care of the home. These are, three different areas. Then you have to take time for yourself. All right. Self care. It's not necessary, it's a requirement. Okay. Remember that. Okay. Self care is a requirement. It's not selfish in any way. And so if you have people who just don't get that you're staying in again on a Saturday night, and here's the alarm, there may be some alarming news. Yeah. Look, Page of Wands is coming in. So again, you are going to be getting news very soon. I'm almost even suggesting within 4 hours, 4 days, or the numbers of fours, because you have a pair of twos, another four here. Uh, so that's something to think about. What else, Spirit? Can you tell us, please? Oh, I saw you jump. Okay, this is great. So wherever sort of feeling it goes over here. The five of coins, so reversed. So with the five of coins reversed, you are now going to be have a much actually, you know what? I rethink this. Remember where you were holding on to things? I'm going to put it there. This news, yeah, much better placement, Spirit tells me. This news now, the five of coins reversed. You've been able to flip the script. You've been able to flip the script. Say that 3 times fast. Flip the script, flip the script, flip the script. In terms of the sense of generosity, you're now finding the resources that you need to tap to be able to open up that avenue so that synchronicity of generosity to allow this change of the wheel of fortune to affect you. All right. So maybe in the past you've been sort of, sort of like in the Myers Lee, or just sort of holding on to whatever little thing you got. And the universe wants to give you more, but you gotta loosen up. Okay, you gotta loosen up. And I was just telling myself that past couple of days as I've been taking time to specifically like stretch and meditate. As I notice the parts of my body where, especially like my lower back, that's sort of when you don't have, in Chinese medicine, when you have lower back pain, sometimes it's a sign of a feeling of lack of maternal support. Now, my mother is no longer here, but yeah, I've actually have recently felt just nothing's overly personal here, but I have felt a lack of certain support that I was in need of. But I said, let me stretch that out. Let me bend my body to help stretch that lower back out to realize that there is support, that my body supports myself, that in fact, the universe, as in the cards right here, do support abundance. There is enough for everybody. Okay. I can't reiterate that enough. Spirit, one card, please. Spirit, one card. Spirit. I saw you flash. Okay. All right. Remember business opportunities here with the three of rods. This could involve three people. Okay. Which is very common when you see that card, or at least or perhaps this king of rods, which is known as wands in other decks. Okay. This person actually may work with, or this is also interesting. This person could be a cusp, both an Aries and a Taurus. Okay. That wants to go into business with you in some fashion or form. Is this all business, Spirit? I'm going to say no. It is not confirmed. Definitely not. We have Five of Cups. Somebody may have recently uh, let go of a relationship, and they know, and the reason that they're doing that is that they know with the world reversed that there is a higher love. You know that song by okay, well, higher love song. I'll put a link on which one that song is. And then the Four of Cups reverse is showing, which is fascinating, is showing that they themselves are actually opening up to a higher love. Okay, so whoever has left a relationship due to it no longer serving them, or that it's just there's something that is missing. I know maybe some of you have been out there and you've been dating somebody in the past. And you're like, wow, before I met my match, I was dating this so-called person, and they're they were great, they were nice, they were lovely, we had good times, but something just seems so average. And maybe you realize, as with every one of us out there, you realize that you are indeed in need of a higher love, something that resonates more with more parts of you than that particular person. Before you say the example I made about, maybe you are currently married. So before you got married, you dated that person that was really great, but just not exactly at that point. Okay. There was just something, everything was fine, but yeah, the family didn't like them, but not love them. Okay. You get my point? And be open to having a higher love. And I'm not talking about substances here where you can, 420 or something like that. Okay. Or alcohol. I'm talking more about spiritual connection. That's really what I'm talking about. Especially since the first card we pulled out was the Hierophant, okay? Which is all about spirituality. Sometimes they represent the Pope in certain decks. Originally, they sort of did, because that's where, the church, society, uh, the judge. This is why the to the Empress, the High Priestess, to the male priestess, okay, to the Hierophant, all right? Tell us more about this Hierophant and the energies here. What is the Thank you. Oh, how interesting. So there has been there's wow. It almost I'm picking up three different things here. First of all, one of the things is that somebody has not been treating you correctly, okay? And that is, I think, at this point, you are fully aware of. So note that spirit sees that as well, or that your angel guides completely see that someone has not been treating you well. And here's sort of reiteration when we did the confirmation. You have the sun card reversed. So I'm going to put the sun card back in. But sun card reverse again shows, yeah, that may have been a match for you, but they weren't treating you the way they should have completely. And it was the sun in reverse. It wasn't like it's like the world in reverse. You know that there's a higher level of companionship that you are destined for. You gotta understand that. Okay. Now thank you. So the six of rods, you are going to get news, I believe. Some of this news says somebody's been watching you grow your business, okay? And they really like what they see. Okay. Well, see, look, in fact, you're giving them all sorts of ideas here with the Seven of Cups. And that also includes you with all the different possibilities, all the different things that you could do. That's fabulous. We always like somebody to recognize our abilities. They also recognize the Ace of Cups within you. They see you, and here's your judgment. They see you as the one. That's the judgment right there. Wow. I've seen quite a few cases here with some of the cards that we pulled, the Sun reversed, the Four of Cups reversed, the Five of Cups upright, the Eight of Cups reversed. That is all about re-engaging in one's heart space. So where maybe someone, really treated you poorly in the past, frankly, lied to you, you're certainly deserving of someone better than someone who lies to you, especially straight to your face, so to speak. Uh, Tell us more with this Ace of Cups. What is this Ace of Cups about? With whom? How funny. So the 5 of cups. So again, and here's the second, we have 2 fives, 3 fives, and we had the 5 of cups reversed before. Okay, so definitely, and I don't blame you, still being sort of heartbroken about that person that lied uh, about you or lied to you or lied on you. Um, that's so tacky. And that's usually somebody who's like not there for they're sort of the people that kind of like, hey, yeah, let's just like fool around 'cause that's really all I'm like capable of doing. And maybe that's all they're capable of. Maybe that's really how they connect with people when they realize, or maybe let's hope they do realize at one point, there's so much more than just sex in a relationship. Okay. Um, because when you really have a bestie or somebody you can really have really so much fun with on so many different levels, that's your match. Okay. That's the match you talk about. That's the match you say yes and I do too. Okay. I'm glad oh, and this also, I believe, is a Taurus or a Cancer sign? I almost wanna say Taurus. Oh, I have to double check that. I'll correct myself on the comments above the video here. Okay, last little message about the Ace of Cups. Tell us any more news? Again, wow, I have a feeling, and I don't recommend this to too many people, okay? Now, it is absolutely capable and doable because I've done it, all right? And that is, and I asked about, about this Ace of Cups. You are, first of all, the immediate point I was trying to make is I was wondering and was trying to question Spirit. Hey, Spirit, with this Ace of Cups, is it just about love? Or is it about, what is this really all about? What's it all about, Alfie, huh? The Three of Coins shows that this is, and you see she's, looking towards literally the direction of the Ace of Cups. Not only is she doing what she absolutely loves, not only in work, but this love will encompass, in terms of this partnership, you have another set of threes now and the 3 of coins. And you can see the coins, this person here, whoop, this worker here on this particular card, they are looking to the left here. And in that case, they're looking towards the 2 and 3. Show you right here with my hands out of the way. Here's your 3 of wands, 3 of rods in this deck, okay, which is that business partnership. Okay. And it's interesting. I think either if this once this person realizes that I think they already know that you're the real deal. Okay. And this may be someone who's been sort of working. I don't know why I'm picking this up, but they sort of, they may have liked you from afar for a long time and just never said anything. Okay. All right. Okay. What about this business? There may be 3 people involved in this business again. I told you. Also, this is about creativity. Finally, good. So a lot of the stress that you've been handling, it's finally over. You get to relieve, there's just a little bit more, but then it's completely over. Okay. In other words, whatever you've been really, really struggling with, that is finally either you're getting used to struggling, okay, but you know that you're worthy of more. I want you to know that, okay? So we have Okay, so we have a King of Cups here, um, who came up reversed. So this may be sometimes the King of Cups reverse shows someone who uh, might be overindulgent in things, sex included, to drinking, substance. But sometimes, because usually the King of Cups is fully in connection with their emotions and can express them easily. They take care of others, besides taking care of themselves. They're able to put together. They're highly respected, but somehow, regardless, this King of Coins, I don't know what's going on here. Maybe this is somebody, yeah, that you knew or knew in your past, but bottom line, whether it's you or they, there's a freedom where maybe in the past you've not been able to make a decision with your two of swords here. Uh, there is now a freedom of there's a better uh, clarity as to what decision you may need or wish to go towards. Okay, so that is wonderful for both parties, and yeah, so there's a major change going, a major change. And before we had gotten that in another reading I just did before, with it was reversed. So this change is coming pretty darn soon. And when will this change happen? Okay. I'm getting a different message all of a sudden, and I don't normally ever talk about this. Okay, I'm gonna read it. Sometimes when you pull cards, of course, there's 5 different ways to skin a cat, they say, right? Or how many? More than one way. So whether it's this King of Cups or somebody who was sort of okay, don't ship the messenger. I just interpret the cards, okay? Take what resonates, leave the rest. You have the Seven of Swords, someone who's lying, someone who's upset over their spilled milk with their Five of Cups, and that things are not didn't turn out the way they wanted. You have a King of Cups, a water sign usually, who may be overindulging at the moment as a result of their upsetness, but maybe brought some clarity because they no longer have an issue or they no longer have an issue with making a decision. That's more appropriate. And it may deal with somebody that they were emotionally connected with another water sign or someone like that. Also, the Queen of Cups can refer to mothers. And with the Death card, it could even symbolize someone uh, someone has actually been talking to their mother in spirit, that then gave them the advice. Wow, that's almost more likely. So we pulled this card first, right? So someone's mother from beyond has sent someone some advice through dreams, through or through signs, because there's a death. The Two of Swords reverse is a big, it's like, oh, it's a minor, minor arcana card. Yes, but when the Two of Swords show up, someone's been at a stalemate. It's almost like the Eight of Swords. You can't make a decision. Should I go left or should I go right, or should I, and when you can't make a decision, this is one of the best suggestions I can tell you. When you can't make a decision, when you're at the crossroads and you're trying to make a decision, if you can't make a decision, you're asking the wrong question. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but I really mean that. Okay. So definitely think to yourself, what if you're not able to answer, should I go here? Should I go there? Should I date this person or should I date that person? Well, if you can't figure that out, then clearly you're asking the wrong question. Flip the question, change the question, and the answer will free you to make the right decision for again, the whole point, your higher soul. Okay. So that is, uh, and once you do that, I'm going to leave it right here, babies. Look, the Sun card. Oh, this is where I get verklempt again. And for those of you that know what's verklempt, it's Yiddish for overly emotional. And lately, and I have no reason to be emotional about anything other than some personal things going on in my life. But when I read for others and I see, the opportunities for beautiful happiness in a spiritual connected way, I'm gonna get verklempt, who doesn't cry at weddings? So there may be a wedding that you're even going to, but I see with the Sun card such happiness. It's not even fun. And look how pretty this artwork is. Jealous. She's a great illustrator, or they were. They are. If they're still alive, I don't think they are. Well, I'll find out who illustrated these cards if I can, because these are always interesting cards. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like there because I think this is something important for you to realize, okay? That keep doing what you're doing because you're literally about to get the accolades and recognition from others that you are so well deserving. So keep fighting there, girl boss. You're doing a fabulous job. And people you're what the decision is going to go in your way if you're waiting an outcome of judgment by somebody or by an organization, okay? Where there has been, struggles perhaps financially that you weren't making as much, this is now you're going to be able to access perhaps a grant or a loan to make you go further, and you're going to be learning about that information very, very soon. And that once that happens, that sort of changes everything. And of course, with you having a brand new attitude about love, when you have the Eight of Cups reversed, it's literally, you're that much closer to your Nine of Cups. Okay. And that Nine of Cups includes the Sun. Literally, besides the Nine of Cups in the world, it's the best card to get in the deck. So with that, I'm Leela Q from the nineofcups.com. I hope to see you in my next reading. Thank you. Leave a comment about any angel numbers you saw this weekend. I'd love that. If this reading resonates with you, tell me your angel numbers that you saw this weekend. And I'm sending you all my gratitude and love. Thanks for leaving the comment. Like, subscribe, hype, and more. You know the details. Anytime you want a private reading, I do have a few openings a week, and the details are right down there. And subscribe. You'll get another reading. All right. And then I do have if you should care, there is a small membership I do run, $1.99 a month. Like, oh my God, it's so cheap. I know, but you get a little extras and you get the readings before everyone else. So stay tuned, stay alive, and be well, my loves. Toodaloo, Leela Q, nineofcups.com.